versus doing it yet? I'm just asking. Is that,
The encumbrance is quicker.
okay.
Was there a second to the motion?
Did you?
I will second.
Okay, I'll second.
Call me.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. Thank you. I sit in that room there, and for some reason, in my office, it's colder than it is in here and in my main office. So I kind of moved over in the main office and trying to,
You need a bunch of space heaters in the town.
well, a long time ago, we were told we couldn't have space heaters, but they've.
Were they sitting in
but
there?
they've done- Well, that was when, it wasn't about the furnace, it was just that they were cold, so, yeah. But some offices have them and some do not, so. I forgot that I was going to say that I emailed your reports out, and I think I did that around the 7th, I can't remember when it was, but, are there any questions on the reports that you received? And thank you for emailing back that you got them, whoever did that, so. Okay, so that's that, and that's that. Salary ordinance, I passed out a version 4.
It's beautiful.
You like that, don't you?
I love it.
It was, done on 9/15, the only thing you have to do is sign it, because you've already approved it, and it was for the nurse. I think it was the nurse. Yeah. But yeah, maybe not. Or, I don't know what you want.
I think we already authorized it, and we're just executing.
No, it wasn't the nurse, it was the temporary foreman that's been added to the
The highway department.
highway department, yes,
But it was already voted.
yes. The other thing I want to explain before we get down to the additionals, because of Carroll Manor, I had put in a reduction appropriation for you guys to approve, because we can't just say we're taking money away from the 2022 budget. But I sent it over on the September 30th. It did not get advertised on the day that I asked, and it got advertised on October 12th. So that's why it's not on the agenda to talk about. So it'll have to be in November, which I don't believe is a problem. So, just thought I'd let you know that. And the additional was approved on October 5th, so they went together. I don't know how that happened, but they did call me back or text me back and said it was their mistake. So, I'm finished.
Less painful.
I think so.
I'm a little perplexed by why I pay almost twice as much for a two-wheel trailer that gets used 2 or 3 times a year than a truck that I use frequently. The fuel tax on the truck is $25. Been that way for a long time, that's fine. The wheel tax on the trailer had been at $10, and then 2 years ago rejected it at 40. I don't have any idea why. Trailer size didn't change, use didn't change. And there's a span of, I think, 6 sizes of trailers that are all paying the same amount. From the little 4x8 that I have to the ones that we can put a car. Does anybody know why?
I will say,
It's changed. I mean, the only time it was changed is when Ann did it, and that was like, when Ann was president, that was 7 years ago, 6 years ago. Right?
The ordinance is 2018, and that is when we put everything for the surtax, $25, and wheel tax at $40. So we're all both at the maximum that we can, because we do not have a TAMP, transportation, I said something.
Transportation is something we plan.
So we cannot, increase anything right at the moment anyway, so, but they were all 25 and 40, and it was done in 2018.
Why are all the same, all different size trailers charging the same amount of money?
I don't know.
It obviously, at the time of that council, is what they voted to do, since, I don't know, Josh, were you on the council then?
I was, yeah. We just did what the state would allow us to do. And just for bodies, and I tend to agree with you, a little bit, two-wheel trailer for a John boat. That seems odd that it gets taxed the same as a, semi-trailer.
Car hauler.
Yeah, but I'm reviewing right now about what the classifications are.
These are all licensed trailers, I assume? All licensed?
They got it.
So my question, yeah, I wanna make sure that they're all.
Well, so, I mean, the problem is the statutory limit for a truck is $25. Yeah, I mean, I think, whatever this fee is.
I think we did it just to
We just did it,
administratively
Yeah.
smooth the thing out.
yeah.
That's what
I think
I
it's a
did.
valid concern, I think we should look into it, and see what the, whatever, the fee difference would be to decrease the single trailers. But we can't increase relative, a semi-tractor or, a huge tandem car hauler or triaxle trailer. It's kinda silly the way the state breaks it out, but, yeah, I think it's worth reviewing.
Look in to see if the state will even allow us to do.
They won't, it's statutory.
Okay.
Are we already at the maximum?
We issued it
statutorily?
at the time, I don't know, it theoretically could have changed it, since we haven't looked into it.
Well, I did, because, we got paperwork stating, do we have a TAMP? If so, you can raise wheel tax. Well, we don't have one of those. We have two other kinds, but we do not have the TAMP. I'm looking at the highway. So I had to say no, and then that means that we can't raise anything anyway, so.
Well, I appreciate you bringing this forward, because
Yeah.
I heard this from somebody else just in the last month or so, I mean.
You know, I'm sitting here listening to y'all about your budgets and everything. I got one too, and this seems a little kind of trivial since it's only once a year, but when you're on a fixed income, it makes a big difference.
Yeah,
I hear you.
but I don't think that it's changed in the last 2 years, that was the only thing.
You know, 2 or 3 years ago, I don't remember exactly when, but I was kind of astounded when I got my
A bill.
thing and it went
It
for
started
$10
in
for
January 1 of 2019. This is when this came effective.
3 years.
So,
Well, we will research and look into that. Yeah, it makes absolute sense. Appreciate you bringing that to us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Keith?
Okay, recorder's ordinance.
I think we need to get that.
It's like you don't wanna step away from the heater if you got a heater in your office, cause it's a little chilly. I have my affidavit and my sworn statement, and following this meeting, I'll go downstairs and, get it notarized. And then when the ordinance is all signed and everything, I'll record them in sequence, and then I'll bring the original back to Beth, so, and copies of this, so she has them for file as well, so.
You need a motion?
not yet.
And she is printing it, didn't get from my office to her office until just a few minutes ago. same as last year.
It's basically just, my affidavit and my sworn statement are enticing you to do an ordinance allowing me to pay my office expenses out of my perpetuation account, since I don't have any other lines in my budget. So that's basically, State Board of Accounts requires us to have this ordinance done on a yearly basis. In a nutshell.
Yeah, when that gets in front of us, I'll entertain a motion. So, anyone want to take bets if we're outside?
And we'll be soon.
You know what's sad is my car doesn't have a blower motor, so aside from driving here, it's still neat
With no blow.
with no blower. Yeah, I went to get it repaired, one day sat 3.5 hours and then one day after 3.5 hours,
Oh.
If you sell Sterno, hardware. Sterno is like stuff that can't eat.
Oh.
You put it underneath the warming dishes.
Oh, okay.
You put it in your cup holder and put your hands over it.
Well, have heated seats and a heated steering wheel, that helps, but if you're in town, there's not enough airflow through the engine. So I came prepared.
Okay. And in front of me is the ordinance. And Eric, you put this together? is that
Yes, I
right?
did.
Okay.
And thanks for accepting it late.
Okay, we've got a motion, and a second, and a second. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
Call. Call.
All right, and Ethan, right? Okay. All right, it is passed.
Okay.
We'll sign it and get it to you.
Okay, thank you. When we get done, I'll record it with my others, and then I'll bring a copy of these and the original back to you. Mhm.
And that brings us down to, the additionals that were advertised October 5th. Any one wish to pull out any of those for further discussion?
I'd like them all, Kurt's by department, please.
I received a phone call from the sheriff, and his dad was killed in an automobile crash. Evidently, he had a medical issue and wrecked his truck. So he was unable to be here today. And we can discuss the sheriff and the jail, I guess, all together. Obviously, fuel, about 18,000. I know last year we did a couple of additionals, for him to get through the year. Hopefully this amount will get him through the remainder of this year, of 18,000. And then medical, dental, and doctor additional for the jail of 10,000. I know, and I've not looked at the sheriff's budget, to see if there's any way possible to transfer any of that from another line item. There's not, okay, because you've got them, is that right? Okay. So these would be your additionals for the sheriff and jail.
Motion to approve additionals for the sheriff and jail.
Second.
Ooh, almost had it. Okay, we have, and this is the sheriff and jail, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve, both the sheriff additional and the jail additional. Any further discussion? Those in favor?
I do that, one discussion. I just wanna point out that, this is extremely relevant, given, we just came through budget time. We adopted an $8.4 million budget before these additionals, and there's almost $100,000 additionals on this page. Before these, we're already at $8.6 million budget. So we adopted an $8.7 million budget, knowing that it's tight, and like, this is not gonna be the end of the additionals that come before us this year. So, like, everybody just needs to understand that, like, these things, this is why you don't spend every dollar that you have to spend in a budget, because these additionals are gonna come down the pike.
I completely agree, John. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0 with the absence of Dye. And, joint courts, we've got transcripts for indigents, psychiatric and expert witnesses, both in the amount of $10,000.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
I don't know about you guys, I know it's about 60-some degrees in my office. If it were February when it's 60 outside, I'd think about wearing shorts. I'm not sure why October's different, but it's cold. For the transcripts for indigents, we have requested 10,000. We believe that should get us through the year. We just received a bill for the last murder trial. That was about $4,000 for that transcript. There was $1,250 of that had been paid previously. And we have another murder trial scheduled in November, and I think he has one other one, and I think I have one that likely would be appealed, should they go to trial. So I think 10,000 should get us there. We should be somewhere close to, with the two that are outstanding. Right now, I think we should be somewhere close to about $5,500 that are outstanding bills for transcripts. As for the expert witnesses, that one I think will be very, very close. We have one, we just received a bill for $2,850. That account, what I'm told by the court administrator, is technically negative $200 before that one is paid. And then there are two additional ones outstanding that we're waiting for bills, and there could be one other additional request for competency exam that we think could happen. So that would put us very close. But I think if the two come in at $2,850, which, it's not, they're not by the same position, so they could be different, but it should be close to $8,400 or something like that. So it's gonna be pretty close to the 10,000. So those should get us through the end of the year, we hope. But those are what those two additionals are about.
Motion to approve joint courts additionals.
I'll second it. Have a motion and a second. If I may ask, what constitutes an indigent? I mean, I know there's probably a certain set of parameters.
There's not really. Somebody who has a public defender or court-appointed attorney. So like on these cases, these are all murders. They're not gonna be able to afford $4,000 for a transcript, let alone, the cost for an attorney. So these particular ones, one was for the major child molest case they had, the others are all murders. So it's not, likely that the high-level felonies, the ones that are really, going up on appeal for most, for more issues than most of the stuff we've seen in Superior Court. Those are, probably most of us would be indigent combined to afford some of the defense, fees and the transcript fees for that. But usually it's someone who would have a public defender or something like that. Like, I know in our court, if you have private counsel, you're paying for your own transcript. So unless there's a change in circumstance, but that would be pretty hard to get by.
Judge, I'm relevant to the joint court, but not necessarily relevant to your additional. During budget, we discussed getting collections up for probation. With the pressure that these additionals are putting on budget, and then also, supplemental adult probation is its own fund, and because it's its own fund, the revenues cannot be moved between it and the general fund or joint courts. So, if we don't get collection for that, the probation department is not gonna fund. I know that's not technically yours, but you spoke on it during, the budget session. So, I just wanted to, reemphasize the need for that, and then try to get with you and see how we can, get them put on the track program, or just have a discussion or in and around collection of probation fees.
Sure.
Because, I mean, it's to the point now where it might not fund in 2023, if we don't have baseline funding.
I can tell you after our last meeting, I went back and talked to the chief probation officer, and our collections are somewhere in the high 90%.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that.
You're welcome to go talk to them. But there's not much juice to get out of that fruit. We're squeezing pretty hard. So, but if there's more money to get, I'm happy to do that, and then we just gotta find somebody who has the time to do those extra tasks that the rest of them do. So.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second on the floor, further discussion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
Motion carries 6-0.
Oh, yeah. Whoops, that's all right.
And then, out of American Rescue for broadband, the amount of $1.6 million. I don't know if there's any discussion on that.
I know we can pass this, but
Pardon?
it was my recollection that we already passed this. I mean, we debated this at length, but, I mean, if we need to do it again, I'll make another
Yeah,
motion.
I think we did out of the county. Was it general?
No, well, I mean, it was
ARPA?
It's ARPA. I mean, it was ARPA, the commissioners took action, approved it,
Okay.
they wanted it taken, considered as lost revenue, we approved all that, and I thought this additional had already been, I know it was advertised, I thought we approved it, but
Yeah.
Second.
Advertised a long time
So
ago.
who did the,
I made the motion.
Okay, we got a motion by Josh,
Second.
second by Paul.
what is the determination on where that money is being returned to? When does that decision be made and who makes it?
Commissioners are the one entered into the contract with the EDC.
Yeah.
Commissioners have not yet done the contract, they're working on that,
Correct.
because of exactly what you're saying. So
So-
it would be the commissioners.
Okay. All right. Motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0. Okay. Anything else to come before this council?
There's one more to be advertised.
Oh, additional to be advertised. EMS, gas and oil for $12,000. By consensus. Okay, now, anything else before the council? Anything from the audience? I will,
I would like to discuss something. I wondered if we wait until December and look at the actual revenues that we have coming in compared to the expenses this year. And at that time, we may have $100 and some thousand left over. You know, could we take that money possibly and apply it towards public safety policies such as public safety salaries?
I think that's something that could be discussed at that time. I mean, you know, right now, we're working on estimates, but, by December, we should know more accurate figures. I think it's something that could be discussed at that time. Yes.
Has an email went out of asking for how are the commissioners getting of what is being requested?
I think that's what that meeting's for.
Okay, so it's not to go over requests for ARPA?
Just how we're gonna handle our, my understanding.
The only thing that they have not received is what you guys said that should come out of ARPA, like all the computers and things like that.
So everybody has been notified that
No,
they have a,
I have not had time to send out that email, but I will send it out.
What time's that meeting?
At 1 o'clock.
I just wanted to make sure that it was done previous to the meeting, so we don't have people saying, we didn't even know that's what was gonna be discussed.
I'm not sure I'm tracking.
But you said that at the department head meetings also, so I mean, they did have some inkling that that's what was going to be done.
Right, and I had said I thought an email should be sent out, so I'm just making sure that, I know it's, I know you're shorthanded, I know.
I'm still not understanding what the question is.
When we have this ARPA meeting, I know it's to get a plan and discuss and that, but some people are already putting in for funds, so you're gonna have, at that meeting, we're gonna discuss what has been requested, and then you're gonna have, if people don't realize that we're discussing it at this meeting, then you're gonna have people that are, maybe would send it in before the meeting, and so we can discuss it as a whole, instead of having to have another meeting.
I have talked to Randy to see who needed to be replaced.
I'm not just talking about the computers now, I'm talking about any requests. Not just about computers and programs, I mean,
Yeah, I only have what you said at the department head meeting, so I'll send it out.
Yeah, and I was going to mention a joint meeting, with the council and commission, November 2nd at 1 o'clock. So, okay. Any other information?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It's been incredible. It has. They're running about 3 hours, 3-hour lines to get in the door. Sure, that's crazy. Yeah, it's been amazing. Yeah.
Are you open all day Saturday?
Yeah, we open at, well, Saturdays open at 8 o'clock and go till 3 a.m. So if there's a football game or breakfast club, we open at 7 a.m. and go to noon and then we open back up.
Oh, I wondered, I went over there.
Yeah.
You had already shut down for the noon break.
Oh, really?
Tomorrow.